The world's eyes are locked on a blazing Super Bowl halftime show filled with spotlights, booming speakers, and that electricity only live events can bring. Then, in what might be the most unexpected moment of the night, whispers arise that Kendrick Lamar slyly slipped in a reference to Drake, a possible jab that had online communities buzzing in an instant. Was it real, or just a figment of overactive imaginations? The rumor sparked an endless flurry of theories, as watchers worldwide tried to decipher every syllable, every glance, every subtle gesture. Today, we're unraveling that mystery. Did Kendrick Lamar actually diss Drake on the biggest stage in American entertainment? And how did Drake react to the entire spectacle? The intrigue around these two giants runs deep. Kendrick is famed for his layered, cerebral approach to hip-hop, weaving vivid stories and calling out industry figures in ways that leave fans guessing for weeks or even years. Drake, on the other hand, has mastered the art of turning personal stories into mega hits, balancing catchy hooks with introspective lyrics that speak to millions. Whenever the hint of a clash between them surfaces, it ignites the rap community like a live wire. Was this just another moment of friendly rivalry, or a genuine shot fired in front of the largest audience imaginable? Let's dissect how a single performance sparked so much debate and discover why Drake's reaction might have been more telling than any explicit line could ever be. On the night of the Super Bowl, people tuned in from all corners of the globe. The halftime show itself was a high-energy mix of choreographed brilliance and dazzling pyrotechnics. Kendrick Lamar, known for his intricate stage setups, certainly didn't disappoint. Dancers moved in perfect unison, and a massive, ever-shifting set provided a mesmerizing backdrop. For many viewers, it felt like a masterful performance. Dramatic visuals, impeccable live vocals, and a pulsating crowd that elevated the entire experience. But soon after the final note faded and the confetti settled, a different kind of excitement erupted. Online message boards, Twitter threads, and fandom forums lit up with speculation. Some viewers claimed Kendrick had slipped in a bar or ad-lib targeting Drake, specifically referencing the occasional talk surrounding Drake's personal life. Even though the halftime show was meticulously planned, skeptics wondered if Kendrick improvised a line on the spot, or if it was part of some grand hidden message all along. Before long, the rumor had snowballed. Small details took on monumental importance. One short clip, allegedly capturing the exact call-out, was replayed countless times. Viewers slowed it down, isolated Kendrick's vocals, and analyzed every syllable. Meanwhile, others insisted there was nothing out of the ordinary. No direct shots, no insults, just fans and critics reading too much into a performance designed purely for entertainment. The division only fueled more debate. Was it a creative approach to provoke Drake publicly, or simply the internet conjuring drama where none existed? The line between hype and reality grew blurrier by the minute, and in the midst of this frenzy, Drake had yet to say a word. To understand why this rumor caught fire so quickly, you have to consider the long-standing dynamic between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Both have redefined hip-hop in the 21st century, but they've done it in drastically different ways. Drake blended melodic elements with sharp rap bars, winning over pop audiences while still maintaining his rap credibility. Kendrick, meanwhile, rose from the West Coast with soul-piercing storytelling and social commentary, layering every project with symbolism and dense lyrical content. Early on, fans were thrilled to see any collaboration between the two. Their synergy promised a merging of Drake's chart-topping hooks and Kendrick's lyrical depth. Indeed, there were moments of apparent mutual respect, co-signs, guest verses, and public compliments. Yet, as each soared to higher levels of fame, a subtle tension grew. At times, fans perceived sly remarks in interview answers, coded lines in songs, and pointed omissions of the other's name in discussions about current rap greats. Neither artist ever confirmed a true rivalry, but the undercurrent of competition was unavoidable. In hip-hop, competition can be healthy. It pushes artists to innovate, to refine their craft, and to vie for that top spot in the public psyche. Given their parallel climbs to superstardom, it was only natural that comparisons would emerge. Whenever fans sensed a hint of friction, it spread like wildfire. Through the years, rumors of subtle disses popped up whenever each dropped new music. Sometimes it was a faint line in a Drake track that listeners swore was aimed at Kendrick. Other times it was a bar in a Kendrick verse that seemed to undermine Drake's style. Usually these were left ambiguous enough to fuel speculation, but never so explicit that it led to outright feuding. This delicate balance between tension and respect built the foundation for the storm that erupted erupted after the Super Bowl show. So, what exactly did Kendrick say, or allegedly say, that stirred so much turmoil? Immediately after the performance aired, a short snippet from the show circulated online. In it, Kendrick delivered a line in a sharper tone, punctuating it with a knowing grin toward the camera. Some viewers swore they heard a cryptic reference to Drake's rumored dating habits, or a subtle jab about authenticity. Others believed these fan theories were just illusions, the product of watchers hoping to see a headline-making moment in an already memorable show. The specifics of the line were muddied by crowd noise, backup vocals, and the excitement of the event itself. People combed through HD recordings, slowed them down, and tried to filter out everything except Kendrick's voice. On some videos, you can hear a string of words that vaguely suggests a challenge to another artist. On others, it all blends into a standard verse with no direct confrontation at all. Online forums broke it down line by line. Enthusiasts pointed to Kendrick's intonation. Was his voice rising, or was that just the normal crescendo of the track? They dissected his body language. Did that half smirk mean he was savoring a moment of calling out Drake, or was it just the typical confidence he displays on stage? The conversation branched out into side debates. If Kendrick wanted to target Drake, why do it so cryptically? Could the potential backlash from fans or sponsors be too great if he was too overt? Amid this swirl of theories, the rumor that he orchestrated a call-out stuck. The idea of Kendrick using the Super Bowl, a platform of epic proportions, to subtly critique Drake became irresistible to fans who love digging for hidden clues. The narrative that a halftime show overshadowed by a rap rivalry was too juicy to ignore. Yet, while conspiracy-minded fans were stoking the flames, many casual observers had no idea a rumor even existed. They simply enjoyed the performance for what it was, a high-octane celebration of Kendrick's artistry. Where was Drake in all this? Immediately following the performance, the Toronto superstar seemed to be minding his own business. Usually active on social media, Drake posted about other ventures, pictures with friends, a tease for an upcoming single, completely sidestepping any mention of Kendrick or the halftime show. His inner circle was just as quiet. No cryptic tweets, no interviews dropping bombshells, and no official statement from his representatives. This silence only amplified the chatter. People hypothesized a range of motives. Perhaps Drake and his team were formulating a carefully measured response, or maybe they thought addressing the rumor would give it undeserved credibility. Some fans believed Drake was genuinely unbothered, seeing the entire episode as a non-issue. Others insisted he was fuming behind closed doors, just waiting for the right moment to strike back in a new track or a social media post. As each day passed, the speculation ratcheted up another notch. Some pointed out how Drake, who usually doesn't shy away from direct confrontation in his lyrics, might be planning a subtle cameo in one of his next freestyles or features, an indirect clapback that would let him hold the upper hand. Others recalled how Drake had faced rumored feuds before. He often addresses them on his own timetable, weaving them into a bigger musical narrative that fans dissect for months. Journalists tried to probe his thoughts. Industry insiders reached out for quotes, but still, there was no response to the rumors swirling around that explosive halftime show. In a culture where every second can produce a new trending topic, silence can sometimes speak louder than words. This hush from Drake's camp offered a tantalizing void that fans were all too eager to fill with theories of their own. Eventually, the tension reached a tipping point. Drake took to a live stream, eager to talk about his upcoming music and connect with fans. Predictably, it didn't take long for someone to slide in with the million-dollar question. Did you hear about Kendrick's alleged shot at you during the Super Bowl? For a split second, Drake's face revealed a flicker of surprise, or perhaps mild amusement, before he composed himself with that trademark coolness. His response was direct yet diplomatic. He praised Kendrick's artistry, calling him one of the most creative voices in modern rap. He acknowledged their shared history and how fans tend to spin up rivalry narratives from almost nothing. While he never explicitly said there was no diss, Drake admitted he'd heard the rumors and found them interesting, though not definitive enough to warrant major concern. He even questioned why the culture of speculation is so intense, especially around artists with massive fan bases. The statement felt genuine. Drake neither attacked Kendrick nor dismissed the possibility outright. Instead, he pointed out that if Kendrick did have a message for him, he'd rather hear it directly or in a clearly worded track than through a potentially misinterpreted moment in a big, chaotic halftime performance. Some fans lauded this approach as mature and gracious. Others took it as an admission that Drake was rattled, trying to maintain composure while privately stung by the perceived slight. Regardless of interpretation, the live stream gave the public public something fresh to chew on. Within hours, headlines sprang up. Drake responds to Kendrick's rumored Super Bowl diss. The rumor was no longer just a swirl of tweets and YouTube comments, it had garnered official acknowledgement, sort of. Drake's neutrality only fanned the flames, with critics parsing each word he used to see if it hinted at deeper tension. Some believed he was setting the stage for a bigger confrontation. Others saw it as closure, a sign that this rumor might soon die down. Yet nothing in the world of celebrity feuds truly disappears. The internet rarely forgets, especially when two powerhouses are involved. While Drake's words were out there for the world to hear, Kendrick was characteristically silent. Known for his deeply layered lyricism and cryptic approach to public statements, he didn't rush to clarify or deny the rumors. This left even more room for wild interpretations. In some ways, it was classic Kendrick. Let the art speak for itself, let the buzz intensify, and never give away too much. Speculation about his motivations skyrocketed. Did he relish stirring the pot, confident his performance was strong enough to keep people talking, or was he baffled by the rumor, seeing the entire controversy as an overblown reaction to a perfectly normal show? Nobody outside his immediate circle could say for sure, and that veil of mystery only elevated his profile. Some music analysts pointed out that this pattern, the artist remaining aloof while fans parse every line, is a key part of Kendrick's brand. He's always balanced mainstream popularity with a certain mystique, never over-explaining his words. Even in interviews, he reveals ideas sparingly. This time was no different. By withholding any statement about the rumored diss, he upheld the principle that creative expression should speak louder than 100 clarifications. The result? Endless conversation about his performance and its possible deeper meanings, all of which kept him firmly in the spotlight. In the days and weeks following the Super Bowl, the internet continued its detective work. Devoted fans took note of every new Kendrick appearance, every snippet of new music, and every snippet of Drake's. They mined fresh verses for references to the halftime show, dissected metaphors in interviews, and speculated on whether the feud might blow up into something bigger. Bloggers spun new angles daily. Some claimed to have insider sources confirming a quiet tension between the two stars. Others reeled back, labeling the entire fiasco a prime example of how modern media tends to sensationalize non-existent drama. Music critics offered their 2 cents, explaining that both artists frequently use subtlety and subtext, so a vague line at the Super Bowl could easily be part of an established pattern of cleverly disguised callouts. Meanwhile, fans formed camps. One side maintained that Kendrick had indeed delivered a cryptic blow, continuing a long tradition of witty barbs aimed at top industry heavyweights. Another side laughed off the speculation as a mass overreaction. Yet another contingent believed the truth was somewhere in between. Maybe there was a small dig, perhaps referencing the way Drake soared to mainstream success, or referencing gossip about his personal life, but it wasn't intended as a full-blown diss. Drake's mild yet thoughtful response added another layer to the conversation. Some insisted he was genuinely unfazed, using the moment to reflect on hip-hop's culture of rumors. Others argued he must have been rattled, quietly preparing a lyrical rebuttal that would come out in his next album or feature. This guessing game breathed life into countless social media threads, keeping fans on high alert for any new developments. Amid the frenzy, many observers reflected on the broader issue, the role of competition in hip-hop. Historically, rap thrives on clashes, friendly or otherwise. These rivalries can elevate creativity, pushing artists to sharpen their pen and deliver their best work. Beef can generate hype, but it can also overshadow important musical conversations, turning everything into a salacious drama. In Drake's case, the alleged diss offered a moment to show how he's grown. He could have lashed out or mocked the rumor with biting sarcasm. Instead, he addressed it calmly, crediting Kendrick for his artistry and admitting the rumor existed without pouring gasoline on the fire. For some fans, it was a sign that Drake, once known for more visible spats, had reached a level of self-awareness that valued the music above petty jabs. Kendrick's silence, on the other hand, could be interpreted in multiple ways. Perhaps it was a sign of respect. If the line really wasn't about Drake, why dignify an unfounded rumor with an explanation? Or maybe it was a cunning move to keep everyone guessing, knowing that unsolved mysteries garner far more publicity than open and shut confirmations. Whichever the case, Kendrick's mystique grew a little bigger that day, keeping him in the limelight without uttering a single word about the alleged diss. Months after the Super Bowl confetti was swept off the field, people still brought up this rumored feud whenever Drake or Kendrick made headlines. It became one of those pop culture flashpoints, an event that never quite got resolved but still colored the way fans view both artists. For the casual listener, the halftime show remained a dazzling performance with no deeper meaning. For hardcore rap enthusiasts, it was another intriguing piece of the ongoing puzzle that is Kendrick Lamar and Drake's relationship. At the end of the day, only Kendrick truly knows if there was a direct shot aimed at Drake, and only Drake can say for certain if it bothered him enough to merit concern or future retaliation. Their public moves, Drake's carefully worded statements, Kendrick's stoic silence, suggest a mutual desire to rise above petty drama while still benefiting from the wave of media interest. Each artist is savvy enough to understand that a bit of speculation can keep fans engaged and the culture buzzing. So here we are left with more questions than answers. Exactly how both Kendrick and Drake appear to like it. And maybe that's the true genius behind the entire episode. Whether it was an elaborate diss, a simple coincidence, or an internet-fueled fantasy, the aftermath shows just how powerful these two titans are in shaping conversations about music, fame, and the ever-blurring line between public persona and personal reality. Well, what do you think? Did Kendrick subtly call out Drake, or is it all smoke with no fire? As long as these two remain at the top of the game, you can bet there will always be someone ready to break down every bar, every gesture, and every passing glance, just in case there's another story waiting to explode into the spotlight.